Hi, I'm William Stewart, co-founder of Teleios. Welcome back to our verse-by-verse study on the book of Luke. What a great study. And we are in chapter 10, and Christ is finished sending out the 72. We have an interlude and then the return of the 72. So he says, and this is also in Matthew 11, "Woe to thee, Chorazin, and to Bethsaida! If the mighty works that have been done in Tyre and Sidon had been done to you, and had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes." So what's he saying here? Well, remember, Christ has brought the kingdom, the salvation to the Jews. He's come to the Jews first. Two cities in which he has spent, I think, a committed piece of time is Chorazin and Bethsaida, or Chorazin, not sure how to pronounce it, both near Capernaum at the north end of the Sea of Galilee in northern Israel. And basically saying, if I had done the miracles which I did there, the mighty works with you, if I'd done them in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented. Now, importantly, Tyre and Sidon are Gentile communities. They're important towns that were along the coast of Palestine on the Mediterranean. And he's basically bashing them for having less faith than the Gentiles. And of course, this portends the Old Testament fulfillment of bringing in the Gentiles. But I think he's trying to wake them up. But it gets worse. "And thou, Capernaum, which are exalted in the heaven, shalt be thrust down to hell. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despises me despises him that sent me." So 2 points here. Capernaum, where he did more miracles than anywhere else, will be cast down to hell. Otherwise, it'll be worse for them than even Bethsaida and Chorazin. In Matthew, it says worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's even more of a warning, because more was given to Capernaum, and their punishment will be worse. So in 16, he indicates that the person who hears me, and remember, in the Jewish sense, if you hear, you obey. And so if you obey the word, you're hearing Christ. If you despise the word, you despise Christ. And if you're despising Christ, you're despising the person or whoever who sent him, not a person, the one who sent him, God, because God sent Christ, and he gave him power and authority to save and judge and to do works and to save mankind. And so if you're rejecting Christ, you're rejecting God. Okay. So he goes to 17, "And the 70 returned, saying and rejoicing, the devils are subject to us through thy name." So Christ sort of says something unexpected here. "I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven." And I think he's talking about, and there's various opinions on this. Some people sort of spiritualize it. Literally, when Satan fell from heaven in Isaiah 14, in the old, or we don't know exactly what it was, but a long time ago. It's already occurred, and of course, he'll fall again in the book of Revelation. So I don't think he's just trying to rain on the parade or be nasty here. I think he probably senses a sense of arrogance in the disciples and is trying to put their thoughts and joy in perspective, because what they're doing is really pretty serious. "Behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." Of course, as we've spoken, Christ is protecting the disciples while in the gospel times. Verse 20, "Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not that the spirits are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. Otherwise they have believed, and they've expressed this belief by following, and they're saved." That's what to be thankful. That's above everything. And it's certainly, I think, a lesson for us as well. Okay, so what have we covered today? Christ warns the cities in the north shore of Galilee, particularly Capernaum, that they should believe or face his wrath, God's wrath. Secondly, when the 72 return, they're rejoicing. Christ cautions their thinking, saying, "You may think you're great, but I was there when Satan himself fell, not just the demon. So you're not such hot stuff. I've given you power, and that's wonderful. But remember, the greatest thing you have is your salvation." Okay, we'll talk about the parable of the Good Samaritan next time, Christ rejoicing in his Father's will over the disciples. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.